Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's episode, I sit down with two of the most gifted young musicians of today, DOMi and JD Beck. I've been following them for the last few years and blown away by their musicianship and incredibly unique style. Before we begin, remember to hit subscribe. Here's my interview. Welcome, DOMi. Welcome, JD.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
For having us.
A lot of people that I know don't know anything about you guys because there's not a lot of interviews with you. When I was talking to my friends who are big fans of yours, like I am, they're like, I don't even know what they sound like as far as you're speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we kind of sound like idiots, so it's
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
it's probably better this way.
That's not true.
Oh, thank you.
So we hung out yesterday, and then we've been getting set up here for the last couple hours and stuff. And this is interesting, the setup. I filmed a little bit of your drum setup. You have a really unique setup. And then we have been trying to figure out a couple things with this, but there are challenges with setting up to do something like this, or even when you're going out and playing live. You have a new record coming out, and I would imagine there's even more challenges with playing that music and getting ready to do that. Tell me about your new record and kind of what we can expect.
It's
Chaos.
a lot. Yeah, chaos.
Chaos, okay.
Yeah,
Lots of notes.
full orchestra. Not on every song. 3 songs are full orchestra, but we wrote the whole record like with Sibelius. So
Well, explain to people what Sibelius is.
So it's just notation software. So like you click in the notes as if it's sheet music, basically. And I mean, I can't even read really. I'm so bad at that. But I learned how to use the software, and we treated it. She's a guru with it, but that's
my favorite software.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
super guru. But that's how we wrote everything, and then we recorded all these players and like one at a time, and we put it together, and then we thought about how to do it live, which was insane.
Okay, where did you record these players, and how did you do that, and how did you even think of doing that?
We went to LA and we wanted to record each player one at a time.
Okay.
So
multiple takes of them, or just
one take?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like as many as.
Yeah, because the parts are very, very challenging, and the way we wrote it on Sibelius, we were like, so it started with basically just, we used the tuba patch of Sibelius.
Okay.
Because it's honestly, the chords sound really good on it.
Okay.
With Note Performer, we use Note Performer, which is like a $10 plugin to have a little better sound, so it's easier for us to like listen to it.
Okay.
And so it just started with like the tuba, which is like basically chords, like slap bass or something kind of funny. And then progressively we just started adding. So basically the whole score is piccolo, flute, oboe, English horn, clarinet, bass clarinet, contrabassoon, sorry, I forgot that one, flugelhorn, French horn, trombone, bass trombone, violin, viola, cello, and on 3 songs, contrabass. But usually I play the bass, but we just wanted for those like orchestral songs, we wanted that. And it's just, it's fun on Sibelius because you can just add whenever you want, which is...
Yeah, it's great, but it makes it a nightmare. And so honestly, every player we had told us it was like some of the hardest music they've ever played. And I think mainly that was because of the rhythmic stuff. Like we got really deep into Steve Reich stuff, and Stravinsky is like our biggest influence. Yeah, our biggest influence. And the stuff he was writing in terms of rhythm, like that was equally a part of like his sound, I think, as the harmony was. It's like a really cool blend. And so I don't know, we just didn't think too much about how they would be able to pull it off. Yeah.
Also, when we would have crazy lines, instead of nicely devising it between players, we would just be like, we just wrote the whole thing, and then during the session we would be like, okay, so just play the 2 first beats of each bar, and then play the 3 and 4, and then we make it work. Yeah, we did one at a time. It took us 110 hours. And
we used one microphone too. The only microphone we used on the whole record was this binaural Neumann head microphone.
Okay.
Like
with the head.
Yeah,
yes, the head.
Because that was the only mic we owned.
Okay.
And we
explain to people what that even is.
It's like a mannequin head that it has silicone ears, and the condenser microphones are like in the ear basically. And for some reason, the shape of the ear kind of dictates the way it picks up stuff, and it was the only mic we heard that we just put it like in the middle of the room and recorded, and it sounded like exactly like how when we were standing there. And so we were like, okay.
It records like a person hears.
Yes,
Yeah,
like a human head.
Yeah.
So we got very excited, and we were like, this is the only microphone we're going to use on the record, except one kick microphone.
Yeah, I had a 47 on kick.
That's it. But all the vocals are on that, all the orchestra is on that, all the drums. And you know what? We regret it.
Oh yeah, super
Big
regret
time.
it.
Because everything's stereo. Everything's already 1,000% wide.
Yeah.
So mixing was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was.
So
Okay, so if you're singing into it, are you singing into the head?
yes, we faced like
Yeah, we sung like directly into the nose.
nose to nose. But all of that to collapse them to mono at the end because it sounded
Yeah,
better.
we did. We collapsed vocals to mono after
Yep.
because we were like, dude, it was crazy.
How did you guys record your parts, like the drums? Was that recorded first and the orchestral players played over them?
No.
Actually, no. But I did record drums first, just at my parents' place in Dallas. We have like a little studio set up in the garage, and we used our budget from the label. Instead of going to a studio, we got a Neve BCM-10. So, yeah, I had to...
And ATCs.
Yeah, ATCs, and we kind of nerded out, and like we're learning. We're still not like super good at all of it, but we just thought the challenge was interesting and kind of fun. So yeah, I literally just head microphone and then the kick, and I recorded. Every song is one full take. On the first record, I would cut like 2 bars at a time, and I would do like weird stuff. But then for some reason for this one, I just felt like, I don't know, the music was already so crazy. I was like, I wanted to feel almost like a live performance.
piece,
but
yeah.
I did like 10,000 takes of every song though. I was, yeah, I lost my mind, like waking up so early and just going all day until like my wrist hurt, and then I was like, okay, I have to stop. But yeah.
Also we had to learn how to play them.
Yeah.
Because for 4 months we were just, so it's also a lot of people think it's only me writing because I'm the keyboard player, but no, we write everything next to each other on one laptop with Sibelius, no instruments involved. So
Okay.
for 4 months we were just doing that, singing, writing, orchestrating, arranging, and so then comes the time we gotta
Then you have to learn
it.
it.
Yeah.
So we were like, man, how to figure it out and stuff. And also live, I play bass with the left hand, so I had to redo the voicings for just one hand, you know, all of that.
You also, it's hard for her, like the chords we write are like really big and dense, and you can only reach
I barely have a ninth,
Okay.
barely. So it's a lot of like,
Yeah.
I realized it's a lot of jumps.
How long have you guys been playing together?
2018,
Yeah, since 2018.
since 2018.
January
Yeah.
28th, I think was when we
So
met.
8 years.
Yeah.
And this release that you have coming out is on Blue Note, right?
Yes.
For people that don't know anything about you, what would you say your style of music is?
I guess the realest thing I would say is fusion. If you take fusion as like a literal, like in the realist form of the word, like it's just a fusion of all the genres that we grew up loving, you know, like DOMi grew up only with jazz and classical music, and
Yeah.
I grew up with rock and hip hop stuff, and then slowly got into jazz and electronic, and we just, I don't know, I think the first record was like the beginning of us figuring out, like, I don't know, what we liked, you know, I guess, yeah, fusion. I think that's the only
It's
thing I
hard.
could say.
It's
yeah.
hard to.
Now,
yeah.
I didn't ask you, we talked last night, but I didn't ask you about how you went from practicing classical, and how did you go from classical to jazz, or did you learn both at the same time?
Immediately at the same time.
Okay.
Yep. So when I was, I think 3 years old, my two first tunes was a Back Invention and Autumn Leaves.
Okay.
And yeah, I think nobody, like my dad doesn't do any music. Nobody does music in my family, but like I was telling you, like he made me practice 5 hours a day every day. And so it was like probably like 2 hours classical, like just, you know, for the technique and the repertoire and all that stuff. And then the 2 hours and a half of like modes, but always like, well, at 3 years old, I couldn't play the McCoy Tyner, like, you know, the fourth and stuff, but it was like leaning progressively towards like doing that and like modes and scale and improvising. Do you know that software Bend in a Box?
Yes.
Okay, so my dad
Yeah.
cracked it.
Okay.
I would put the chord changes
Yep.
and remove the piano and then practice, you know, like I was playing with a band, but I was by myself.
Your dad's not a musician, right?
No, he can play like maybe a couple chords on guitar, but he's not, you know.
So why did he think that this was something to do to have you practice like this?
So his big vision was, I want to give you something that is so personal, a skill you can develop and perfect and have your whole life no matter what you're going through. You know, it was like this grandiose philosophy kind of thing. And yeah, it was just like, get good at this and you can be creative, you know, in this world, which is super important. And so yeah, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day, on Christmas, on my birthday, sick, whatever. It was there, you know. But I'm super grateful for it because by 15, I had 25,000 hours of practice and I moved out, went to Paris and stuff. So that's why I'm like, there's no talent in me. Like, but I should be good after that. So, you know,
yeah, after playing
hopefully.
that much.
So, and do you have kind of a similar story as far as starting young?
Yeah. I think when I was around five, I asked my parents if I could take lessons because they had a little like Yamaha student upright in the house that they had, I guess, since my dad was a kid. And I asked them if I could, you know, take lessons. And I think that slowly turned into me realizing I didn't like playing piano, but I liked music. And I think for some reason, drums resonated. And I just started playing drums. They got me a little Yamaha 4-piece drum set. And then I just played every day. I wasn't like her in the way I would practice like diligently because my parents didn't put much like care into how long I was doing something as long as they saw that I was, you know, excited about it, and I was. So I would just find myself like playing for hours and hours, and yeah, that continued until, you know, now. Now I wish I could play a little more, but
You have music up here,
I do.
right? Things from the new record.
Yeah, the whole new record.
How much of this do you actually need to look at right now?
I know every track except track 14 on the album.
Okay.
I never memorized it.
Eventually, though, you won't even have that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just keep the iPad because I'm a nervous person. And so I just keep it here. Like on stage, it's literally right here. And I'm just basically playing and looking at JD. But just having it here recomforts me a lot. So I just keep it on.
Okay, so I love your aesthetic. We were talking about this last night, about that scene from the videos that you've made where you're playing your clear Ludwig drum kit and then you have the nature scene behind you. Tell me a little bit about that, because that is amazing looking. I love the aesthetic of that. How did you come up with that? What is that?
Well, years before we even started writing the second album, we already had a note on our phones, and it was like basically all the like vision we had for it.
Yeah.
And our favorite two movies are Buried in Dawn by Kubrick and Dreams by Akira Kurosawa. And so we would just put them on repeat and look at them and like take stills as our screensaver on our desktop and stuff. So we always wanted to have like something similar or like kind of inspired by that.
Yeah.
And so
I think we felt like also the nature, I don't know, just the whole grandiose thing of just like a vast landscape. It's super inspiring, I think, for music, because it's almost like it's the canvas that you have like to paint with, you know, like musically at least. Like you can see this, I don't know, just this open space and this like, it really evokes a lot of feelings, I think. And for us, it really kind of, I don't know, it just resonated, and we knew we wanted people to, when they heard our music, to at least kind of have that same kind of feeling. And we thought, okay, let's take the entire budget we have for the record and let's just get our friend Tahila, who's an amazing cinematographer. She like does DPs, like a bunch of movies, and we talked with her about it, and we were like, okay, let's figure this out.
And she shoots on film camera.
Yeah, she shoots on film.
Wow.
So it was
That's
all
what we did. Yeah,
all on film,
16 millimeter.
16 millimeter. And we have another guy, Carlos, who's an amazing set designer. So we basically just talked to them too, and we said like, hey, look, this is kind of the thing we have. Here's how much money we have. And so we found like this giant warehouse, I think in Inglewood.
Burbank.
Oh
It was
yeah,
Burbank.
sorry, we picked one in Burbank. There was 2 options, and it had to be like in the middle, like as far away from like the center of LA as possible. But yeah, we did the Burbank one, and it was crazy because they just had this giant, space to just build this stuff, and so they.
Did you have drawings or anything of it?
We gave them precise idea. We say autumn outside. Everything, as less green as possible, like really orange.
We gave them stills from Barry Lyndon as well.
Wait, I have to ask you this. Now, Barry Lyndon is a film that I've watched a million times. How would you guys even know that movie?
I don't know.
It's an amazing looking movie.
Yeah, it's the...
Oh yeah, it's like the most beautiful.
Movie. Oh, it's unbelievable.
And they don't use any fake light.
Yeah, it's all natural light.
All natural lights, the candle lights and things like that. It's incredible.
Which is what inspired one of us for, we specifically asked for a hut with candle lights, for one of the video as an homage. Yeah, we were just really inspired by it. So we were like a well, a hut, a pond. We kind of gave them the idea and then...
Yeah, well, actually those things came, to get deeper, we wrote like a whole story for the record, like almost like a script for like a movie or something. Before we even wrote lyrics, before we even like fully recorded everything too. And we had this idea where we're like, oh, it'd be so cool if it was like a visual album or something, and like we had all this stuff, but the budget for that is like nightmarish. And we're also not like, just because we've done music and we're lucky enough to be like in the spot we are, it doesn't mean we know anything about like film or stuff like that. So we're like, okay, how do we showcase our love for this stuff but make it about the music and stuff? So that was kind of like the jumping point for the whole record, was just like this story we wrote with our friend McKay, who's like an amazing illustrator, and so he like storyboarded it too.
Got it.
And, like little like sketches and stuff, and then we just combined all of it into like one
all of the elements
giant
into
set.
one
so
giant
like each
set.
video, there's 4 distinct sets technically, but they're all built like next to each other. So like the scene of us inside is actually the inside of the hut that's on the front cover, and like the lake scene is like over there to the right. It's real water too. There's a platform of like wood, and they just laid this tarp down.
And while we were playing, somebody had to physically move the water.
Because I was wondering how the water was moving.
It's somebody on the floor.
Someone on the floor, like just going like this. Yeah.
And it's crazy because we would do sometimes 8 takes, and we always used take 4.
Yeah, for some reason, take 4.
But you guys are playing on that. That's all live playing.
Yeah,
it is.
To the track.
Yeah.
So we use the track of the orchestra, and then when she solos, we put in her...
in the solo of the
track.
Yeah,
so she could just play, because we wanted that freedom, so you don't... Because our whole, like, every time we played up until this new music, she had to play the bass parts while she was soloing, so it kind of... It didn't...
It would restrict a little bit because I could never use my left hand for chords or anything. It was always bass, but I love playing bass more than keys.
Yeah,
so it's perfect for me. But on this one, since we have your whole orchestra and stuff, whenever I solo, bass and keys from the record comes in, so I can just go crazy, and then I switch back.
Do you guys want to play something from the new record?
Sure.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. What do you want to play?
Out of Sync.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do it.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
It feels like it's 3 people playing because your bass playing is one of the people here. Do you think of it like you're playing with DOMi playing keyboards and a bass player?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think her bass is equivalent to how I'm feeling about like the pulse of the music. So I use her bass as kind of like, that's what guides me through it. But I like to push like a lot. Like I like to be kind of before her almost because it's just, it feels like this extra, you know, like force coming. But I think, yeah, your bass, I don't know. It's hard to say. We're so used to just like not even looking at each other and just listening to, you know, what we're playing, which is weird because most people would like expect us to be like staring each other down. But
Well, for cues.
Yeah,
you know,
cues.
Yeah.
Like kind of solo, okay, like, but other than that, all ears.
But you guys face each other. Is that so that you can hear and communicate that way?
Yeah,
And-
as close as possible, and so we can like look for sure.
Yeah, when it's important. And also, I think something just about us being so close together, like, makes it even...
unity.
Yeah, even
More,
if we're not
yeah.
looking, we try to feel like one, I guess.
Okay, how much stuff on the new record are you actually playing simultaneously like that?
Oh, none of it.
Oh, none of it.
Yeah, never.
Okay, so when you actually start rehearsing to play new songs, do you have to kind of figure out exactly what to do?
Kind of.
Usually what we do is like we practiced our parts so much before. So when we play together, we only focus on locking as much as we can.
Yeah.
But hopefully by that time the technicality should be good. You know, we should have it in, like, we should be able to play the material. So it's like really now, how do we make this like
gel
one? You know.
Yeah. And then it gets fun after we've like felt like, okay, we don't need to sit and like, you know, agonize over the like parts themselves. Then we try to like open it and then get weird, I guess. But we haven't got to that point yet with the new record. No.
We need 100 shows first.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk just for a second about your concept of the way you put your drum kit together.
Yeah, I guess conceptually I just like drums that don't sound like drums. You know, I've growing up playing like drums to hip hop stuff and like having to blend with like DJs and things like that. I guess over time it slowly just became me trying to sound like that. And yeah, I don't know. I just have more fun when the sounds I'm playing are weirder or interesting, or I at least try to make them sound interesting. So I have like, most things I have some kind of, I don't know, like keys rattling on like everything, and then this is like kitchenware that's converted into like a weird stack, and then this like super thick bell that I can play, and then a lot of times I'll just play the rims of the drum too, because I don't know, you
like really short sounds.
Yeah, very short decay. Because also the music we write is so accidentally maximalist. Like we really don't try to make our music like intense, but it always ends up being that way. And so for me, like the drier and quicker the stuff is, you know, the more room there is for what she does, and also just the more confident, I guess, I feel.
Now, you guys were talking last night about the harmony with the harmonic complexity and kind of the rate of the changes, and that you don't want sounds hanging over. Is that rhythmically, so it doesn't interfere with the harmony, or why do you think that way?
It's both, I guess, because a lot of our chords, if you blend them into each other, it's like very dissonant. Yeah. So they absolutely need to be stopped. You know, we can't have wrong reverbs and stuff like that because it needs to be very clear. It's already a lot of notes. So like, if you have trouble hearing it, I think it's gonna. There's
a lot of counterpoint, but it doesn't work in a way that like it could, you know, overlap. You know, it's like very. I don't know, our voice leading is like interesting in the way that like a lot of the foundation of the chords like shifts a lot, but then kind of there's like pockets of our chords that just move together, but like the second you put verb like on it or delay, it's like, oh no, it becomes like a...
But it's rhythmically too, you're right.
Yeah.
Like both rhythmically and for the purpose of like hearing the chords clearly, we can't really have long
Yeah, long tails.
echoes and stuff like that. But we did add a lot of effects on our vocals.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about your vocal, about singing on this record and the concept behind that.
Well, we had 13 days left before like a deadline we had to.
We made a fake a deadline for ourselves for the record, which was now we know is the last thing you ever want to do.
To put pressure on yourself with a deadline, right?
We thought we would be smart and use it as fuel to do something we hadn't done before and we can push through, we're great, we got this, and then it slowly unraveled our minds.
It slowly unraveled, but
yeah.
It worked out for the recording of the vocals. We had 13 days left, and we never sing on unison. We never sing the same notes because we're it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And also having a harmony brings out the chords more even, because then it explains more what's going on. So
also gives people a different view of the melody. Especially if the second voice is its own melody. It's not just written as a harmony. I feel because people, for us, it's weird because I sing technically what's the melody most of the time, but a lot of people when we showed it to them, they were like, yeah, since DOMi's doing all this lead melody
because
stuff.
My harmony is above JD's voice because of a register,
Yeah.
But technically, I'm the harmony for most of it. I had one day, I had a long hair salon day of 10 hours or something, and I just brought my laptop and wrote the harmonies for all the songs. And then we had 12 days left to record 12 songs on vocal, so I would do 2 hours, 3 hours a day per song, and then JD would go 2 hours, 3 hours. And so in 12 days, we recorded all of them. But we're not singers.
Yeah.
We treat vocals as an instrument. It's just we have it, might as
Equally
well use
as
it.
an
It's
instrument.
like any other instrument. No Whitney Houston over here. Absolutely not. But we felt like it was good for the music. So
yeah. It was also kind of a thing where a lot of people who don't like instrumental music or stuff like that, if we have vocals on something that we do, they tend to think that that's what's leading the music, right? And I agree, the human voice is the most universal thing. Anyone can hear that, and that's an instant connection, but we want to try to bridge that gap in a way if we can and be well, the vocals are interesting because the music supporting it is interesting. A lot of our melodies are very, if there's no chords, they seem so simple. They could be the really, really simple, but we just don't want it to be the focus, we want it to be there, but we want the focus to be the whole, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I want to play one of the tunes on here, Concertino.
Okay.
And it starts out with this orchestral introduction. But I want to play the beginning part here, and then we'll talk about it. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
It reminds me of when I see the images. To me, it really works with that, and it's very modal. It's incredibly melodic. How do you think about harmony, as far as like this kind of harmony?
You know what? We have to give you the truth. We never think of harmony.
Mm-hmm.
We think of harmony, we don't think of theory.
We don't think of theory, yeah. We literally like just sing the chords, write them in Sibelius, and like, what would sound good after that, you know? And we try combinations and stuff like that, but no limits, you know? There are definitely lots of rules in theory and stuff like that, like parallel fifth, blah, 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 all of that. We bypass them anyway most of the time because we just follow literally our ears. Like what sounds good, and
what feels
and we build
right.
progressively, you know, like this, literally chord after chord after chord, like singing melodies. Sometimes it's bass lines, but most of the time we start with
chords.
The chords, yeah.
Or sometimes it'll be like 2 notes that just move together, or like a melody that's not. Actually, a lot of times I think our chord progressions start from kind of a fake melody. Mm-hmm. It's like almost the top note of the chord.
Yes,
it's just like some kind of phrase that moves, and then it slowly starts to kind of like reveal itself. Like the intro, it wasn't technically a part of the rest of that track, but then when we finally took those chords and then we arranged it, it was like, whoa, this leads into something really cool. And I don't know, it's more just about, I don't know, the whole of the thing.
I guess we think of chords as like each chord is individual notes. And so where do each note lead, you know? Like it's literally counterpoint. It's not really, we don't think as blocks. We feel like each note is a melody in itself, and like where is it gonna move, you know? And there's no secret or anything. We're just here on Sibelius like sweating, just like, okay, no, like this doesn't work. We have like 3 days block, and then boom, you know? Okay, actually that works now. And that's it. The whole album was just done like that.
Okay, so if you were going to play that right now, like that, from where the piano enters, for example.
Yeah, that's why I have a hydraulic seat, because on this one, I need to go down, but I'll try. Anyway.
Okay, so then when you are coming up with your part to this, what comes first? Is it that? Or is this kind of all together?
Actually, the orchestra. We wrote the whole thing,
first.
the whole orchestra on Sibelius. Okay. I had no piano part.
Okay.
This was the only song I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Because we have an actual contrabass player playing the bass too on that one. We were like, this fits. So JD wrote, he programmed actually the way you should tell.
Yeah, the whole record, what I did was once we finished writing all the Sibelius stuff, we took it into Ableton, and then I like programmed drums with MIDI.
Okay.
So like kind of the same concept as the Sibelius, just with like drums and like more sounds that were closer to like what I would be recording with. And I think once we finished that one night at like 1 a.m. or something, I heard it and I realized, I was like, whoa, what we're doing on the pits, like it's like metric modulation basically.
Yes.
But I decided that I just wanted my time to almost follow what the pits was doing. Mm-hmm. And so my 2 and 4 would switch dependent on the pits, as if the pits was like the new tempo, but really it was just like, you know, subdivisions over whatever. And I don't know, it slowly became that. And I think at first you were like, this makes no sense. I'm so confused.
Well, no, I understood the rhythmic changes because of the orchestral parts, but I was not expecting him to like switch back and forth all the time, you know? And so after a couple of days, I was like, this is gonna be my dream come true. I'm gonna try to write a concerto part or whatever, you know? but following all these rhythm. So went back on Sibelius and just wrote this insane part that I regret every day. And
That was sick.
And that's how we did it.
It's the only song that we did that for too, like where I went and did drums separately and then you did like piano separately, which was weird, but
because we just couldn't. It was different, no vocals. It was not a song properly, and so I was like, this is the time I need to go in on piano for sure.
What made you decide to write this way? Is it things that you've been influenced by, or you just wanted to go in a different direction? What was the thought behind this?
It was two things. It was us discovering a lot of new music, and us. We had to orchestrate our first record for orchestra because we had some shows coming up with the Metropole Orchestra, and so we wanted to orchestrate it ourselves. And so doing that process changed everything.
Everything, yeah.
Okay, in what way?
We never felt, I think the way we actually always didn't, like we never wrote on our instruments, even for the first record.
Okay.
Just because that was like, it's a weird thing. Like I don't know theory. She's not like, doesn't really write drum parts, but we both, when we started writing together, we were like, well, we want to do everything together like equally. Like let's figure this out because it was fun and it was a challenge. But I think...
And we wanted to avoid muscle memories at all costs.
Yeah.
Because if you write on the instrument, inevitably you will play the stuff you
Explain
played.
that to people that are watching this. Is like, what does she mean, muscle memory?
Muscle memory, well, it's basically, I've been playing voice
Well, everybody's been playing. Everybody's player has...
Yeah, you tend to play over and over. Like if you have to improvise, you would tend to like... Well, everybody has a style, you
they
can recognize.
Bank, like a memory bank
a memory bank
stuff.
Of the repertoire you've played or like the stuff you've been working on. But personally, I always realized that I would tend to play the same voicings and the same chord progressions and the same riffs and stuff like that. So, and I hate that, So we're like, what is the way to counter any of that is to not play when you write.
Right.
And just brain how you feel, listen and just
just
do
come
it.
up with it. And I think for the first record, we were so used to playing live. Like the first year and a half we played, or maybe even 2 years we played together, we had no set list and we had no, like we had things that we both knew, but we would kind of just go up there and like play free. And that was like the majority of what we did. And I think when we started writing our first record, we had a lot of things like that we subconsciously, we were kind of making stuff that we knew we were capable of playing like live. Like it was always chords, bass, and then drums, and like that was it. Like we knew she would have to play that and the bass, and I'd have to carry like the rhythm stuff. But
then we had to orchestrate it.
Yeah.
And so open the charts, get the whole,
so many instruments,
the whole section in, and we realized how much we can do like that. Motif development, you can take your time. Well, we thought so, and then we ended up filling up all the time. But, you could take your time if you wanted to. But having that many instruments, it's palette of color, We felt like we expanded this palette, and we couldn't go back.
We couldn't.
When we finished touring and we went home and we're like, okay, let's write. We just instantly, immediately wrote, and the flute was in, the clarinet was in, and then the next it's a whole full score,
Yeah.
So that's how, and the music inspiration, we got heavily into Björk, heavily into Stravinsky as Orpheus, that beautiful
Orpheus
ballet.
Yeah, also Dumbarton Oaks is
Dumbarton
one.
Oaks.
Do you guys sit around and just listen to music together?
Well, you know what we do? Like I was saying yesterday.
When you're touring, obviously, you have stuff.
Yeah.
We literally do this is a lie, we don't sleep 8 hours. We sleep 9 or 10 hours. So let's
When we're home.
When we're home, not on tour. But we sleep. And then we just work on music, but basically the way it's like we're just on YouTube watching scores.
Okay.
So that's how we got heavily.
Yeah, that kind of changed our
because when you
brain.
listen,
You look at these videos that actually will play this. They'll have the score, and it'll play the piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we read it at the same time,
Yeah.
So we try to learn as much on orchestration and arrangement.
We're not like. We know it, but we don't,
Well, it's honestly not that different than people that learn orchestration from copying scores.
Exactly.
That's the way they used to do it from hand copying.
Exactly.
Hand copying them.
Yep.
Yeah.
We would copy the parts, the individual parts, and then the score and stuff like that. So this way we were we listen, but at the same time, visually we can hopefully learn
it was a cool way to understand the role that all of those instruments were playing. Because it's not, for us, it was, I feel like that's the difference with classical music and jazz in a way, is that there's, like, the instruments are, they're so kind of distant from the music in a way. Like it's about the mass of things and like how it all comes together, except like soloist parts, obviously. But it was really kind of beautiful to see like how things soloed are, you know, so separate from what it ends up being, just based on like what the colors of all these instruments are doing together, you know, like one note, literally, you could take out one note or one instrument from like this big score and it'll sound completely different, which was like kind of mind-blowing.
When you guys were recording these orchestral instruments, are you sitting there with your score and saying, oh, can you do this here? Can you do that there?
Oh, yeah.
And,
you did.
And every take that they're doing, and you're layering takes, right?
So,
like how do you do the orchestration if you're
tortured.
recording?
Yeah, we layered
definitely
a
tortured.
lot.
Okay.
Because, well, we wanted the effect of mass, so like a string section.
Sure.
You get 6 first violin, 6 second violin. So we had this poor violin player, and she had to redo each 6 times.
Had she ever done this before or not in this way?
Maybe not that much.
Maybe not that much.
Maybe not that much.
I think they were all used to the difference in studio, obviously, because they were all like, you know, people who've done studio stuff, and I think it's common kind of to like layer like that, but
double, but not like 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times, and also like some of them having, the way we wrote too was like sometimes they would have to play 2 notes at once and just 1 note, like in weird spots because of just the way we divided the chords up. But yeah, it was insane, an insane amount of layering.
Okay, so what's another thing that you will be going out and touring and playing? What is another piece from the new record?
Oh. Oh, thank you.
That one's weird without all the stuff going on.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
Thank you.
I watched a video of you guys, probably 3 years ago, where you talked about your top 10 albums, and you said, well, since then you've had a lot of new influences. Tell me about some of the new records that you would put on your list now in 2026.
Okay, we've been blasting Ottaker.
Okay.
A lot of Ottaker.
I
They're
love it.
geniuses in terms of like sound design, and also rhythmically they have like, to me, the most interesting drum parts.
Drum patterns, like it's insane.
You listen to it and it's literally, sometimes there's like...
There's no notes most of the
no.
time, it's literally just drums. It's insane, like electronic drums. So we've been blasting that. All our friends hate us because we put that so loud in the car and they're
We're
trying
like,
to drive.
you don't hear this? This is crazy.
So that, we got heavily into Hella and Death Grips. Well, it's Zach Hill.
We became really good friends with Zach starting like 3 years ago we met. And he actually did all the sounds for us, like DOMi's bass and keys, and
Did
Yeah.
the
you
sound
play.
design for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I recorded MIDI, bass, keys, harp, vibraphone, and my solos, of course.
And Celesta, actually. You
Well,
recorded real Celesta.
But I recorded real Celesta with a head microphone. That we didn't touch. But all of those, so we selected, like, we had source sounds for them and then gave it to Zach and just for like 6 weeks, just
He went crazy.
next to him, and yep.
We
going
learned how to
crazy.
do it from him. He's like such a genius when it comes to just sound itself.
Oh,
It's
he's a
really-
mastermind.
Yeah.
So, and we discovered his music in 2023.
Bjork.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Bjork for sure.
Bjork we discovered in 2022, but after we already finished writing our first record, So she has that wonderful album with Courtship,
Oh yeah, Utopia.
Utopia.
That record's beautiful.
with all the
It's-
flute ensembles and
She actually writes on Sibelius too, which we found out after we did it. We were like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're like, she's an amazing.
Have you guys met Bjork yet?
no, that's a dream.
It
That's
has
a
to be
dream.
natural though. We don't want to be like,
Hey.
yeah.
Yep.
We've been lately listening to, they call it Singeli. It's like African electronic music that's just like some of the fastest stuff. It's like 180 BPM plus, and it's very just like intense like electronic stuff, but like with African rhythms and a lot of like African samples and stuff, and it's like
And people dance to it, so it kind of shows.
yeah, it shows you
Okay.
can dance to
BPM.
anything.
You can
Come
dance
on.
to fast music.
Yeah, there's
there you
videos
go.
there like going nuts, and that stuff is like super inspiring. Also, I mean, more Ravel too. We were
Yeah, of
into
course.
Ravel for this record, but
Well,
learning,
we've always known, Stravinsky, Ravel, Debussy, but
finding the
and Scriabin. actually.
Scriabin.
Yeah.
Albanberg too.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of classic rock stuff too, like
Oh, the
influences,
Police.
a lot of Police stuff, a lot of the Who, like Quadrophenia. That is like
Yes.
Also, that's like one of the best sounding
Oh,
records
amazing.
ever. Yeah, we actually met Pete one time and we nerded out over the BCM 10. We have like the new version, but I think that's what he had for like ever when he was doing those demos. Because the demos
Yeah.
too, with him singing on it, some
Are
of that,
great.
yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And that was a big influence. I mean, a lot of stuff. I think we try to, no matter what we listen to, we try to find like one distinct element in it that like carries it for us. Like we'll listen to some stuff where people will be like, why do you even like this? I'm like, no, but you hear this, like the dumbest stuff, it can have really, really, really cool things in anything, I guess.
And sometimes we don't find anything good.
Yeah, sometimes
And we're just like,
we're
well,
stuck.
I guess it's not for us,
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm trying to just think about the new stuff because we've always been into Led Zeppelin. We've always been
Yeah.
into Wayne Shorter,
Yeah,
like
Wayne.
that's always there.
Oh, Gonzalo.
Oh yeah, Gonzalo
has
Mubarakaba.
he has a record called Antiguo, I think, which is like all like electronic programming, and they're playing over it, and that is some of the sickest music I've ever heard.
Now you use this term maximalist, which I really like that term. What's that term mean exactly? I mean, I know what it means, but what does it mean to you?
Well, to us, it doesn't really mean much, to be real. It's just that, like the majority of humans on this planet, when they hear our music, for them, it's a lot,
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
And so we've been described like that. But to be honest, I never feel like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to say. I think maximalism is kind of, you could use it as a negative or a positive, I think. And I think for us, we use it in a positive way to try to say, like, we're trying to get the maximum amount of stuff out of what we're, writing or whatever. But, and there's some people who use like the minimalist term, like they call Steve Reich and that kind of stuff like minimalist. And it's really subjective, I think, for anyone. I feel like it's about how open you are, because to some people they're more intrigued by stuff that's maximalist, and some people are more intrigued by stuff that's minimalist. But it's kind of based on what they think is either of those. It doesn't necessarily mean it's one or the other.
Well, we all have different frame of reference too.
Yeah.
It's like the same debate, like instrumental music versus vocal music. If you're not used to one or the other, you can be like, whoa, Yeah. I think it's just like what you've been growing up with,
Your library.
Yeah, but your library, I don't know. I guess it is maximalist in the sense that, like, when you look at our scores, it's a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I guess,
When you guys were growing up, what are some of the things that you would hear at home that your dad would play? What kind of music did he listen to?
My dad is like the biggest Keith Jarrett and Pat Metheny fan.
Okay.
So Colin concert, I think that's my first memory, the Colin concert. And Bach and Concerto I don't know in English, Brandebourgeois. I don't know in English, but it was that, Oscar Peterson. Pat, it was Pat.
Well, why was he into that stuff if he wasn't a musician? Not saying that you need to be a musician to be into that, but like Oscar Peterson.
Right. I think randomly at the record store, he was a Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin huge fan. And so I think one time he just tried, like a jazz record, and then he liked it.
Nice.
And I think that's it. I grew up always with, and also he wasn't listening to a whole lot of classical music because I don't think he dived deep in it, but the Mozart Requiem and then the Emperor, the Piano Concerto 5 by Beethoven, that was like all day too.
And Bach, right? Like
Bach was.
Now you were playing those things though as you were working on your classical piano. You're working.
Well,
on these
my teachers
pieces.
didn't want me to, but I was playing them for sure. Yeah, you're not mature enough. Well, are we ever mature enough? I guess that's
true.
But yeah, I would definitely and then in classical, my favorites were Rachmaninoff, Liszt, Chopin, Prokofiev. I went immediately in the. I guess, we are maximalist because all the stuff we like is like Frank Zappa, all that. It's like a lot, So I guess we are maximalist.
Okay, now what about you're from a big family, right?
Yeah, youngest of 7.
What were people playing in your house when you were growing up?
It was so random. My dad loved the Beatles. He loved Led Zeppelin. He loved The Who. He loved a lot of classic rock stuff. I think he also had he had some metal stuff he liked, but he also was like huge on Earth, Wind and Fire. Okay. So growing up, I religiously listened to Earth, Wind and Fire with him, and my mom was more like 80s pop and like hair metal and stuff like Def Leppard and stuff like that. So that was kind of my thing. And then my siblings, they'd listen to new stuff. So I'd hear.
But they all had different tastes probably, right?
Oh yeah, Well, it's hard to say. Some of them were more into like the emo stuff, and then some of them were more into like just new like hip hop stuff. And yeah, it was kind of super random. And I was the only one that started checking out like jazz stuff, and like Tony Williams changed my life for sure. Like Spectrum, that song, off Emergency, like hearing that, I heard that before I heard like a lot of like swing and like straight ahead stuff before. Like my introduction to jazz in general was from the more fusion-y side of it, like Weather Report too, like that stuff just.
You were blasting Miles Davis Electric when I first met you.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked Directions too. Yeah, that stuff is awesome. I just love the energy, like I don't know, something about it's very punk in a way. At least like the attitude, which I think is something we are trying to, push in our music. Is that feeling where you're there, like you feel like you're like in something crazy, and you can just kind of be free of like, I don't know. I hate it when we're at concerts and people are just like sitting or like
Eating.
Eating makes me crazy.
Wait, eating what? When people are eating during a concert?
Yeah.
Well, and we feel bad because, you know.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
It's not
They're
their
at a,
fault,
you
you
know.
know.
The place allows it. But
Yeah, for sure, you know. But it's like, it's not the energy we would
Yeah.
prefer, you
No.
know.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like crash and like play
Yeah.
as loud as possible. DOMi's like bleeding on her keyboard. Like literally, she'll bleed when we play. And then if you look over and someone's having a steak dinner, I'm like, dang, we're not doing much here.
Yeah, this has no impact at
Yeah,
all.
it's more like self-consciousness, you know. We're like, oh,
Also, I don't think we're making music to be eaten. Like
No,
for people to
absolutely
eat too, you know?
not.
Yeah.
It's not cocktail jazz stuff. So
So DOMi, tell me about this. You're going to show us a little excerpt here.
yeah, this is the outro, the last track of a new record. It's only orchestra.
Okay.
And so the first section of that track is JD wrote the chords on a fake guitar patch,
Okay.
MIDI
fake
the
MIDI
chords.
guitar.
And so I can play that first.
Yep.
Let me make sure it works. So that's just the guitar, right?
Okay.
So we took those chords and then I mute the guitar and then we did this. So that at the
Okay, so I hear the changes,
Yep, the same changes.
but then you have all the linear.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
going on.
We added all the motifs and stuff.
Okay.
And you know, for 4 months we were only listening to Sibelius, so we were like, this is
We're
the
like, this
best
sounds
thing
great.
ever.
Yeah, we were so.
And then we recorded people, and so let me place it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Well, that's cool to see the progression of that.
It was super satisfying.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, when we got our friend Sam, when we were recording the orchestra, this amazing engineer, Daniel McNeil, he recorded the orchestra for us. So like he was pressing play or record on Pro Tools and stuff and like running the session. And by the time we were like a week or maybe 2 weeks out from being done, we don't know Pro Tools. I mean, now we do.
Right.
From after
We had
doing
to
this whole
learn.
thing, but at the time we didn't know Pro Tools. And our friend Sam, who tours with us, he does like the playback stuff and helps like set up just a bunch of stuff. He's an amazing producer himself too. But he'd never done Pro Tools. But we asked him, we were like, could you learn Pro Tools like
2 weeks.
in the next
You have
2
2
weeks?
weeks,
So
yeah.
when we come back to Dallas from LA, like you could help us like get all of the players and all the takes and stuff. And he was like, okay. So he downloaded an app on his phone that was like every Pro Tools shortcut and like all these things. And so by the time we got back to Dallas, we had like all of that stuff, and we'd only heard, you know, the Sibelius version, and all the players, they actually recorded to the Sibelius.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we took their parts out and we had them record to that because we were like, if they were recording to the drums and keys, like technically it'd be more right, like rhythmically, but the context of what they were doing is like, you know, and we hadn't comped like takes and stuff like that because it was each player at a time. And so by the time we got back to Dallas, it was like the most satisfying thing, like putting all the players together and picking the takes and stuff. And it still took like what?
300 hours.
Yeah,
Now, did you
300
guys
hours.
edit in Pro Tools for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
you know how to edit in Pro Tools.
Now, yeah.
Well, we still have a lot
Still
to
a
learn.
lot to learn, but yeah.
We could do it, yeah.
Compare Pro Tools and Ableton, those two platforms. You use Ableton Live, right?
So JD recorded his drums in Luna,
Okay.
Because he wanted to try.
I was just like, the whole myth that DAWs sound different is it's totally false. Like they've done tests where everything is like nulls, but I guess it's the actual processes that the DAW do, like certain stock plugins and stuff. Like that's the difference between DAWs. But Ableton compared to Pro Tools is like, for us, Ableton's like, I don't know.
I recorded my parts in Ableton. And then I just touched this, by the way, sorry. Oops. And then we sound design in Logic with Zach.
Yeah.
And then we recorded the orchestra and edited in Pro Tools. So we used
we did
pretty
every
much,
DAW.
Right.
The
Just to prove that
It's the
that they
same.
all
I
sound the
guess
same,
so.
right?
And next record, it's only FL Studio.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But Ableton is like it's like a toy box almost. I feel like in terms of like actually like creating something from scratch, Ableton is like super, at least for us, it feels like the easiest because just the way MIDI works and the way like...
Well, that's the one we're the most comfortable
Yeah,
like,
the
with,
stock
you know.
stuff. Pro Tools to me is like if you have like a live recording or like you need to mix something or, you know, stuff like that, or even vocals, like it's really good with like the playlists and stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that's what we used that for, was like that final like, okay, we're going to make this all a thing.
Is the
know?
record mixed? Did you mix the record out of Pro Tools?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
Pro
on
Tools.
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Okay, and who mixed the record?
It was us and Ja Lazo. We mostly took care of the instrumental. He mostly took care of the vocals. You know, there was some back and forth, but we were all in the same room. And I mean, we gotta tell you, like we learned so much because we're not producers. We've never produced in our life. You know, we've played.
You are now.
We're trying to, that's our number one focus right now.
We're trying to get better and better and better at it because for many reasons, but like we've played all life and recorded what we play, but like our first record is literally like just we recorded and then boom, that's it, let's mix.
iPhone
mics, yeah, and stuff like that, which is like not great, you know? But for this one, when we finally put everything together, the big mistakes we did is the last day we recorded our vocals, we were like, well, that's it. It's all in.
Yeah, we were like sick.
Like idiots.
Yeah.
Like this is the dumbest thing we've ever done because, I mean, you have to like produce. So we literally was like, okay, we're going to mix now. We've never heard like even like a rough mix or anything. So we lost months and months and months and months and stuff. And then we realized like, okay, what about adding effects on the vocals?
Yeah,
or,
doing,
you know, stuff like that.
doing the stuff that we never thought. I think part of our problem was there's a certain ego attached to when you're like, you know, like how it is when you record yourself or like when you're playing something. There's a certain ego there where you want to keep it like that and you don't want to like cheat things or you don't want to do stuff like that. Or I think it was deep in the back of our heads that we had these like kind of walls set up.
Well, I would say
in a weird way.
Not to like fight against styles and stuff like that, but you know, the classical and the jazz style, historically, it's like you play, you record, that's it, you know? And that's what this is good for. And so because, well, me like being trained in that and stuff, it was kind of unthinkable in a way that you could then produce and like post-production stuff. And so we had to like fight self-imposed stupid rules, like purist rules, you know, of, well, but, you know, a live show is different from an album. You can have an album and do something different live. You don't have to treat the album as this is my live show that is recorded, you know? So we had to fight ourselves on these stupid rules, really. Like we should do whatever feels good and right for the music.
Regardless
you know?
of ourselves too. Like there was certain points where we were like pushing effects on our keys and bass or my drums and the sound, and we were like, oh, but that doesn't sound like we actually played it. And then we were like, why does that matter? It's about the music and it's about the record itself. Like our capabilities as like a player or whatever should have nothing to do with it, you know? And like if you come and see us live, like, you know, it might not sound like the record, but we did do it, and we didn't want that to be the thing stopping us from like making the music we wanted to make.
How much time do you put into the mixing process, and how do you guys decide when you're at the final mix? Are there 10 versions, 20 versions of the mix?
Probably 150.
Okay.
Yeah,
of
probably
everything.
150 because we messed up. We didn't produce. So like we have a first mix of like before it was produced, super raw, and then we went back in. We did stuff, and then we had to remix. We were fighting against a vinyl deadline, so there's a vinyl mix, and then that's
the people who are buying our vinyl are getting like the raw version of the record, which I actually think is kind of cool.
Yeah,
because it's like
it's a slightly different version.
Yeah, it's like two different versions of it in a way, and it's also nicer for vinyl because it's like less bass and
it's more
like
hi-fi.
Yeah,
it's way more
hi-fi
hi-fi on vinyl.
I think the stuff we're trying to achieve in terms of like a sonic thing is not. They don't really go together. Like there's like, we have this like ultra pure, like the orchestra on the record, we didn't put any reverb, we didn't put like barely any EQ, like just high pass, like just the head mic. And that's how it was. No panning because it's left or right.
Sure.
It's two different signals. So like that was already a challenge. And then her sounds, we wanted these really weird, like textural, like gritty.
I play lots of pads, and everything is so wide and airy, so it's like hard to mix.
Noise.
It's super hard.
And then we wanted bass that was like really big and felt like, I don't know, fat and kind of like just
leading.
Yeah,
the
leading.
Bass, we were always like the bass is leading, the songs, and I mean, it was a nightmare for sure. It was a huge nightmare.
By the time I think the second we stopped being able to hear any notes is when we were just like, okay.
You're talking like taking notes, like we need to fix this or let's change that.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we were like, okay.
Do you get nervous when you're going to sign off on a song? Like, okay, this is the final version?
Yeah, we were terrified.
Oh, yeah.
But we did the thing is because we recorded like, we treat this record as like one song almost, like from start to finish. And even the way in the sequence it goes, they all bleed into each other. Just because of like having wrote all of the orchestral parts first, like we had the whole record before any of that.
We already had the order before we even learned the parts.
Yeah.
Like we already put the Sibelius in order, like we had a sequence on Ableton with his programmed drums, so we technically had the record mid-2024, but then it took us a long time to learn how to play record.
To get it together. And so mixing was the same way. We would mix like the whole album essentially. And we know now we're never making music like that again. We're doing one song at a time until it's like, that's cool.
Yeah, because we burned ourselves.
Yeah.
Having to listen to 15 songs every day.
Yeah, the same ones.
Oh my God, yeah.
And we were relentless too. We were like 12 hours a day for like literally since the February of 2024.
Yeah.
I think up until like a couple months ago.
Which was counterproductive. Like we should have taken a break.
Yeah.
That's also another thing we learned. Like
we
take a
learned
step
so
back,
much, yeah.
take a month, and then let's go back in. But we didn't because we were like, no, we gotta,
Yeah.
And it killed us a little bit.
So you guys have dates coming up in the fall, is that right?
Yeah, September, right? Beginning of September.
Yeah, whole North America tour. Yeah.
Exciting.
We'll see.
Yeah, nervous.
Yeah.
Well, it's really great to meet you guys, and
Likewise.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
really
having us.
appreciate you guys coming in. You want to do one more song here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Let's do
yeah,
it.
thanks. We're huge fans. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you.
Amazing.